my god, the predict charm! Is it enough?
As well as Shelly gets involved. The Viper will survive.
No flash on Zeka, he's gonna have to TP out. Viper TP's out.
And a teleport out.
Zeka's gonna have to TP.
Welcome to another Ask Inky. We're just watching the MSI League finals between number 1 in China, number 1 Korea. Fun set. Extremely hungover. Last night was Settle It, which I took in Grand Finals, Game 5. Honestly, I feel really good about it. I feel like I was playing like dog shit. I feel like my controller, I started using a new controller that day. That was my first time using it. And my inputs were just not translating like most of the time. But I felt like I just understood enough of the game. I had a clear enough head that got done anyway. I don't think either Mitsu or Frog were playing necessarily bad against me either. So, pretty happy with that one. Clearly need to do a lot more practice leading up to Gommel. So, it'll be 2 weeks of getting my hands back in shape and getting used to this controller. But, yeah. Welcome again. We got 17 questions this time, so not the biggest, not the smallest. I did already film this video once, and it took about an hour and a half, so I'm expecting it to be a little less time than that, simply because we're back, you know? It's not the first rodeo of this. I'm extremely hungover. I feel like shit, and when you're down and out, everyone wants a piece of your ass. So, we'll see what we can do to move forward, onward, and upward. Got a new bruise last night. I don't know if you can see it. It's like right here from wrestling at like 3 a.m. Absol and Thor. So that smarts a little bit. Got a couple more on back and shoulders. I'm a sore boy right now. However, let's hop right into it. First question. I feel like we all have a pretty good grasp of what people mean when they say that someone has better player than their opponent. But I'm curious about what your thoughts on it are. What is actually happening when someone is better playing another? What specific things do you look out for or know if this is happening? How does it vary between Grand Slam level, top 8 at spin, top 32 at a major? How can we as worst players avoid it happening to us? Good question. A couple different answers to this. So basically, like, Melee is a game of experience and knowledge, and stacking those on top of each other to create game plans. Knowing yourself and your opponent. It all comes down to that. So, like, Sun Tzu's original Art of War, there's, like, 2 key points, which are, like, know thyself, know thy opponent, and appear strong when you are weak, and weak when you are strong. Those 2 fundamental principles apply all the way up to the top, all the way to the highest level. So, keep reflecting on those, keep trying to understand, you know, what you do or don't know. Now, how does this vary? So, at a Grand Slammy level, you don't have a whole lot of knowledge. You don't have a particular game plan. You have tools. You have things that you know are good. And that's like, when you're getting better, everyone has the tools that they gravitate towards. It might be walk through forward smash. It might be shield grab. It might be aerial in place. It might be dash dance, nair at your opponent. Everyone has their tools that they like. And so, at a Grand Slammy level, you are immediately presented with your opponent's tools, and you have your own tools, and so it comes down to either, do my tools win me the game before their tools win them the game? Sometimes that's just a matter of luck. And at a Grand Slam level, luck comes into games a lot. You know, there's a lot of upsets that happen and that wouldn't be expected at a higher level. And so it's like this collision of tools and just hoping yours work better. And usually the players that supersede this, that like end up getting number one, are the people that have their own tools and are really good at figuring out how to avoid their opponent's tools. And so that means maybe shielding and rolling when you get nared by a fox, and then the next time throwing something out right away, so that if they try and nair at you, you get a hit first. That's a very simple example. There's a lot across the board, every character, every matchup. You know, at a top 8 level, and so like, what does it mean when someone better players their opponent? It means that like you can avoid their tools more than they can avoid yours. You just have more knowledge than them slightly, usually, and that just creates the gap. Or you just know one part of the game really well and not much others, and the opponent doesn't know how to take you out of that part of the game, so you just keep falling back on it. Now, how does that apply? It applies more tangibly at top 8 and then also at top 32 of majors. In top 8 at spin, you'll see, well, for instance, like between Mitz and K, like the both of them will come to me with questions like, I don't know how to deal with this spot. I don't know how to deal with this spot. So against each other, they're constantly trying to improve and adapt and like meet a new expectation, and so that's why their sets go back and forth. But like the reason why K or Mitz is beating someone under them so consistently at a top 8 level at spin, or why I am, is because a lot of the time it's because here's the thing. Mitz lost to the Ganondorf Miranda in Maine when we went there a year or two ago, and that wasn't because the Ganondorf is better than Mitz. It's because Mitz doesn't know this Ganondorf. Mitz has never played this Ganondorf. He only has one set to figure it out. And at this top 8 at spin level, you've got a lot of good tools. You know how to refute your opponent's tools. You're very familiar with a lot of these parts of the game, but you still don't have a game plan necessarily. You have some like things that you're gravitating towards, but you're not staying within a zone because you don't have everything figured out really. Like, even if you do have a game plan, it's usually very imperfect. Like, I'm going to camp platforms. Well, shit, my opponent, like, isn't approaching the platforms. They're approaching the space in between. How do I deal with this? Some people immediately have answers, some people don't. And so at a top 8 level at spin, you're seeing, like, Mitz knows that Dusty wants to go in after getting a hit. He knows that he wants to, like, when Mitz is shielding, he wants to forward smash. Mitz knows all these, like, things of, like, what Dusty wants. And he's just filling in the gaps of like, oh, Dusty didn't want this before when we last played, or I forgot about this, now I remember. And as the game goes on, he's filling in more of those holes about like what is Dusty's capabilities with this character. Because the character has insane capabilities, but you as a person are limiting your character with your own knowledge. So you'll start to attack that in different ways. For me, I play Cliff. I'm constantly trying to pressure a shield in a way that I know will bait a shield grab so that I can punish him for shield grabbing, because I know he loves to shield grab. When I play against Dusty, I'm going to shield in place for a second. I know that he's an honest enough player that when I'm in a place that I'm shielding, he's not going to throw a move out in front of that place just in case I move forward out of shield. He's not going to throw a move behind that place in case I move back out of shield. He's going to throw a move at that place because he sees me in shield. Oh, he's in shield. Now, players like Dusty are making decisions faster than the people under them. So they're attacking where I'm shielding quicker, which is good against other opponents, but there's this thing where it's like I have an easier time forestalking someone like Dusty or like Aiden or like Cliff than I do like maybe like a Liverwort or like a Simon. And it's not because they're better, like Simon or Liverwort are better than those players. It's because I don't know what Simon or Liverwort want. I don't really know their goals, and I don't know how to influence their goals because I don't really know how they think. When you're at a lower level, like you have so many holes and so many things that you just like to do and so many things that you just do for the vibe that it's really hard to analyze and pin that down. Whereas against like a Cliff, I know if I aerial this far away from him and then dash back, he's going to try and hit where I just was, and I'm going to hit him for it. And so I can create those situations and win those situations over and over and over again. And they're different situations because if I just play the same one, they're good enough players at the top 8 level of spin to adapt to that. But like, I know more than just the one. I know a lot. And I'm going to keep running these different things. And at a top 32 level at a major, it looks the exact same, but just at a higher level. You have players like Moki who are layering on these mix-ups over and over again, and he's layering on mix-ups that like barely lose him anything because he knows that when he's projected that information out, The moment I move past or I do something past a certain point, he can react to that with what he really wants, and then take that to a full punish. And it's like, oh, I didn't, I don't want to get shine up smashed or grabbed against Fox. Like, those are some of the things I'm really trying to stay away from. But if he nairs in place once or twice, and I expect him to nair in place the next time, and I dash in and crouch, he might just run up as if he's going to nair in place, and then, do something else, because he knows my timing. He knows a lot of it's timing, spacing, keeping the tension of spacing, reacting at different points within that tension and right outside of that tension, seeing how your opponent does that while playing safe, and giving space for free, and then taking advantage of the way that they took space in the last sequence. And so it comes down to over the course of 5 games, you've run hundreds of situations hundreds of times, sometimes the same situations a dozen times, sometimes not. And so you're just going to get experience gaps because they just know more situations than you. They will see the situations you're not playing into well, the ones you are playing into well. They'll avoid the ones you're playing into well. They'll really hyper focus on creating those situations you're not. Top 32 level, it's ruthless, but it's just layering all that on top of you until you're overwhelmed and you can't handle the stack. You get crushed by the weight of it all. How do you avoid it happening? You just have to try and play your game, and try and play your game as well as you can. If your game's being exploited in specific ways, immediately cut those out and just play other melee, even if it's not as familiar to you. It's better than a spot you're losing 100% of the time. Make it scrappy in that way, you could say, or make it not scrappy. Make it so that you're camping so hard that they have to choose the spots to hit you, and as long as you're hyper focusing on the timing of that, you can maybe exchange with them in a way that it comes out positive for you, and then you can get hit off of that. Especially if you're a Fox or a Falco player, it's really good to do that. Otherwise, how to avoid it happening to you? Just be fearless. Don't fall into comfort when you're playing ever. Always be I want to make this person work. What can I do next? And fall back on these tools you might not even remember that you have. Keep pushing it. Good question. Yeah. There's a lot of different, I could talk about this for another hour, frankly. It's a really good question. When I'm better playing someone like Frog, it's because he has a lead, and I'm okay, well, he's going to approach at some point with an aerial. And so I'm just waiting for that. I'm getting a crouch cancel into option immediately. And it's my fundamental understanding of the game is strong enough, and his is weak enough that he's not respecting that this is a net zero spot for him, and so he's going to run into it because it works against other people. And then he gets quote-unquote better playered for it. Same with Mitts, drifting in certain spots, or going for a rising aerial to catch me aerialing because I just aerialed in a certain spot last time. It's I'm not going to just jump in that spot and do the same thing again. I'm going to wait for you, see what you do, and then if you try and hit me for that, awesome, I'll hit you as a whiff punish, and if you don't, then I know I can play that situation again. Or, depending on what visual information you've given and what I've seen from you, I'll be able to make a judgment call as to whether I can play that situation again. Do you seem like you know exactly what I want, and you're waiting for it yourself, or waiting to see if I do it again? What does it seem like you're doing, and what information are you giving me? I'm gonna play around that consistently. Against better players like Moki, I don't have the time to play around that as much. I can search for intentions, but they're just stacking so many options and so many feints and baits on top that it's you really get lost in the information. And so that's the best way to improve, is to keep offering those and getting better at those. So this next question I talked about for 20 minutes in the last video, which is insane, because the first question has so much more to give than what's the order of your top 3 now, all time. hgod, mangoat, fartmarda. And I'll just keep it short. There was a period of time where, in 2015, 2014, where the common theme was Armada was going to the least amount of events of the top 3. but he was the most consistent. And when I say going to the least amount, he would still sometimes go to the, like, he maybe would have went to the same amount of events, but if he wasn't feeling good, he would DQ. Like, something that Mango and hgod don't really do. Like, when they don't feel good, they're like, ah, fuck it. Like, I'm just going to see what plays out. Maybe I do well, maybe I don't, but I'm going to try. Armada would, like, really understand, like, oh, I don't feel well. I'm probably not going to do well, given my state of mind. There's no point in me entering with a mentality that I don't have confidence in myself, and then he just wouldn't enter. And so people who just look back at results and are like, Armada was the most dominant player, it's like, yeah, he curated himself being the most dominant player, but he was the most dominant player, but he did curate himself being that. Mango probably could have curated himself a bit more and, like, would have come across more like that himself. Hbox, same thing. Like, Hbox might have been able to just take more time to learn the game instead of just consistently playing it. It feels like these days he learns the game so often he's like studying and reflecting and trying to come up with answers, whereas in that era he entered like 30 tournaments a year, 40 tournaments a year. He'd get anything from 1st to like 7th, 1st to 5th probably is more accurate, losing to like Mango or Armada or Muti King or whoever else was around at that time. Not as much Muti King, but some other players that were good. Wizzy, of course, Plup. And so, and Leffen, when Leffen came along, he really had hbox's number for a little while. But again, like, hbox was just putting up numbers in a way that no one else was, and there's something admirable about that. Like, I forget how many majors hbox went to in 1 year. Hbox, let me take a look here real quick. 1 year in particular where, like, I feel like this is gonna be like 80 pages long. This is, I hate the way that they did this. They organized it by tournament. This is dog shit. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so we look at like 2014. Or 2014. It's like $17 majors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 majors in 1 year. Yeah. And, like, a couple other events as well. And he had a couple bad placements, you know. But he had a lot of good placements. He got ninth at Big House, which is his worst in a long time. He got 7th, 8th at MLG Anaheim. And so this is the thing, like, he had events where he would just kind of get bodied by, like, maybe AMSA, you know, AMSA West Balls, like, things like that, like, wouldn't really happen as much to, like, Mango or Armada. Yeah, he got 3rd in this group along with Leffen. God, these were some glory days, man. Back in the MLG days like this. What a tournament MLG Anaheim 2014 was. Those who know, know. Like, the fact that we got all of these sets, I don't know if any of them are still saved or if they're all saved or what. Maybe none of them are. But, like, PPMD hacks to end the day, Armada, AMSA, Westball's 3-0ing Mango. Like, this was a tourney of tourneys. Mango beats PPMD in semis, game 5, and then beats Armada back-to-back, game 5. Armada looked unstoppable otherwise. Armada was 7-0 in pools, had beaten, I think he played Mango in pools, maybe not. No, they never played in pools, which is so sick. Oh no, they did. Armada won game 5 in pools. this is like the height of the rivalry between them, and like again, I just want to show this to show that like HBox beat Plup Samus and then lost to Axe in this event, and so like what I'm trying to get at is just the idea that, and like this is such a sick era to look back at. This is one of my favorite tournaments to look back at, but it's just to show that hgod was consistent but didn't have as high peaks. Armada had the highest peaks, but didn't enter as much. Mango was like the healthy medium. Now, with all that being said, like Armada was just that dude back then, and so was Mango, and so those two kind of like well and above pushed number 1 and 2. The same way that when COVID happened, Mango and Zain did after Armada retired. And so that's the thing I really consider, is that like Mango just had the longest longevity at the top 2 level. hgod, he's top 3 now again, top 4, top 3. But like he's been 5th, 6th, 7th, and I mean again, so is Mango. Post COVID, he's been in the kind of like the 4th to like 10th range, I would say. But he's still winning tournaments over like the best sometimes. He won Tipped Off and he won another event back to back. If you listen to him talking before the event and like after the event, his mentality around it, like in terms of improvement, was good. It felt like there was a real good chance that we could see Mango win another tournament in the near future over a Zain or a Cody. You know, something that we just hadn't seen from HBox in a long time, and that, you know, I mean, again, Armada's been out of the scene for like 10 years now. So all this being said, Mango hasn't been in the scene for a year. Now, if Mango had retired, it might be a different conversation. But Mango didn't really choose to not be in the scene. It's kind of a weird point. Kind of a weird situation. But I would say that does play a part to me. Is that it's not like he chose to quit. It's like he got banned for a year for things outside of the game, and was still doing Ironmans with Zain and just fucking him up. And they would play like random sets in between, like, or after the Ironmans, and it was like competitive. So he's still at that level, man. And yeah, with that being said, I would say for me it's still Mango, and then again, Armada was so dominant during his period of time, along with like Mango. Like they were top 2 by a mile. It's tough. You know, it's silly to say things like this, but it's like, if that Evo and that Battle of the 5 Gods that HBox had won over Armada to cement himself number 1 that year, if those were like sets that HBox dominated Armada clearly, instead of like he hit a fucking dream of a situation, like the dream scenario, like that was like one of 10 timelines out of like a billion where HBox actually wins these sets based off of like their current skill at the time. And like, hats off, HBox is a competitor. The way that he played around certain spots, the way that he forced that on his opponent, like he was the better competitor that day for sure. Both times. But it's like, I don't know, man. It's a lot of nuance and a lot of like non-statistics and like intangibles that I put into this. So my opinion isn't like the most statistically educated, you could say. Although I was like around, and I do generally know what their careers have been like since like the start, because I'm a super fan. I've looked into all of that closely over the years. I'd still say right now it's Mango and then Armada and then HBox, but by like the smallest of margins, the tiniest of margins. I would say one more good year for HBox puts him above Armada for me, and then it's Mango, HBox, Armada. And I would say another 2 to 3 years without Mango coming back will make HBox the GOAT for me, through and through. That's where I sit with it. Unless Mango gets banned, In which case it just becomes like again and doesn't come back ever. Like if he chooses to not come back from now on, I understand. But 2 to 3 years HBox will be the GOAT. If he gets banned again and he just can't come back, then I would say it's more like a Jordan LeBron argument where it's just like 2 different GOATs of 2 different eras. The same way that like athletes physically have to retire at certain ages because of their bodies deteriorating, I would say the same for Mango. He had to retire because he got banned. It wasn't inside of his control really, and then they're just GOATs of different eras. Yeah. What do I think of down forward running as a timing mix-up? Something I've talked about with people recently, actually, and that I've been thinking about a lot this last month, is just this. I think in the future of Melee, I think in a year or two, this is something that's going to be implemented more at a top level. I think that for those of you who don't know, when you're not holding directly right or directly left on the cardinal and getting the 1.0 value, anything less than that, you run at a slower speed. So if you're holding like down and away to run, you're getting like a 0.8 or input or so, and you're running at 0.8 times the speed you could be. And so in some cases where you need to follow up on like a punish, that's so big. And so you should always be trying 1.0 the cardinal. In other spots, not so much. The difference is insignificant enough that it will ruin your combo. But yeah, neutral, I see this being huge in the coming years. I think it's like one of the easiest mix-ups to implement that hasn't been yet, in terms of understanding how to apply it yourself and then reaping the rewards from it. Excellent question. Could go into more detail on the applications of it. In terms of like, a lot of people break down Melee into beats, like 1 beat, 2 beat, 3 beat, 4 beat, timing mix-ups, all that. Yeah, it would definitely change the beats on certain approaching mix-ups as well as other areas. If you're a bottom mid PR player in NS and your goal is to break into the upper level and beat Mitz, Frog, K, Luma consistently, what would you recommend they do? So for me, the way that I would approach it if I was getting better in the scene, go to a weekly, I'd lose to Mitz or Frog or K or Luma. I'd be like, fuck. I really want to beat that guy. Damn it, I lost to them. Why am I losing to this guy? What am I losing to? And then I'd watch back the VODs. Okay, I'm just getting nared a lot. I keep getting hit when I approach. I'm not getting hit as much as when I don't approach. Oh, my edge guards. I'm not edge guarding right. I take all these situations. I can't edge guard. I wouldn't see it as I can't edge guard against Luma. I'd see it as I can't edge guard against Fox. How does Sheik edge guard Fox? I'd watch a 1001 mutating edge guard video. I get some inspiration there. This is something I used to do when I was trying to beat Rick and things like that. Watch the 1001 mutating edge guard video. That's kind of outdated now. They have a JMOOC one that's pretty good. Like, okay, how does like why is what he's doing working? And so like for me, for edge guarding, I learned that you can only react to so much, but you can like trace your opponent, is how I put it. And so if your opponent's falling at this height off stage, sorry, I got a mirrored camera. They're falling at this height off stage. You're on stage at like this height, at the corner of the stage. They'll just say that like my neck is the corner of the stage. Let me just draw this out. Fuck it. It's ridiculous for me to try and do this by hand. Let's see. Okay, so so we'll just say like this is battlefield here, right? We'll extend the platform because it's like not. Okay, let's see. So this is battlefield, right? My opponent is like up here, right? I just hit him off stage. I'm gonna follow him like here, right? I'm gonna be right here, and as he goes lower, I'm gonna just trace him down as well, and just be like right under him the whole time. And so, the moment he chooses like, let's say it's Fox or Falco, the moment they choose a side B option, I'm already level with them. I can hear the side B and then just do like a rising aerial, like a rising nair here, right? And so I have enough time to like sound cue wise, just wait. Oh, side B, boink. And I'll keep falling all the way to off stage at this height. Like I'll have jumped off side plat to get here to begin with. But I'll fall all the way off like low. And then let's say that this opponent still has jump as a resource, right? They've been floating in somewhat. They're like here right now, right? Now they choose to side B. Well, now I can do a rising aerial to cover ledge. Even if I don't know whether they're gonna, or let's say they start a Firefox, right? At this point, they start a Firefox. I'm still falling. There's nothing for me to immediately hit if they start a Firefox here. It's a bit of a weird spot, it feels like, right? All of a sudden, I react when I'm like here. What are my options? For me, if I'm close enough to ledge and I can time it well enough that I know that when their Firefox is going to start, I'm going to do a rising bear. And it's going to cover all of these angles all the way up here. And if he goes high, I land on the ground before he's fallen down. And so I can do another rising aerial and cover this whole zone. So I cover here, and then I cover above here. I'm covering everything, is what I'm getting at. I'm be able to react to anything that this Fox does and cover all of it. That is what Edgeguard Flowchart Incarnate is like this. And so every character Edgeguards differently. For Falco, something that's really good as Falco is you trace them, and then when they start like an up B instead of a side B, you shine stall. And then you use that shine stall to float down slower so that you can do a rising aerial later. And then you can cover more ground, and like you can set the timing up just right for that. A lot of it is coming down to setting up the timing so that you're covering one zone when the Firefox is starting, and then the other zone higher, after everything is said and done. And so players will mix it up by Firefoxing like here, because they know that you're tracing them. They see that off stage, and so they know that they can start it here and then play 50-50 where they either go to ledge or they go up and then play another mix-up here, because it's very hard to cover ledge. Now, as a Sheik, what I'll do in this spot is I'll jump needle. Jump needle right here. If it works out, I get the hit. If they go straight, usually the needle covers it, or I can land in time. Depending on how I'm setting up the jump needle, I can land shield and then aerial to shield, or land shield and then shield grab, even better. And if they go high, I get to cover that as well. So this is like the next advanced level, is like a Fox doing something like this to create more mix-ups. The next level above that is a Fox will like keep their jump, and then depending on the timing of when I start to like cover certain things, they will react to me in terms of starting an instant up B or using jump as a resource to then jump and then play an air dodge mix-up. So it's like a multi-layered recovery mix-up of them doing 3 or 4 good things in a row based off of what I'm doing and like what they're seeing me do, to play a mix-up that is still 50-50, but that if they're tuned in enough to what I want, they might get the 50-50 more often than not. That's like the best recoverers in the world. That's like Cody will do that, Moki, not very many others. And this is just edge guarding, when you get down to like, when you get down to like other ways of setting up neutral and like things like that, it gets just as complicated, if not more. And so like this is all a super tangent, but like going back to what does it take to go from a high plat to a grandmaster level? It's understanding the game at a higher level. It's coming to these fundamental breakthroughs like this about either neutral or about punish game or about, oh, when I do moves in place, they work more than when I do moves moving forward. You know? You have to constantly analyze, improve your understanding of certain things, and you'll just gap. Like, it's about playing the character. And then once you have gotten good enough to understand the character, you can be like, okay, well, Mitz likes to do this. Well, Frog likes to do this. K likes to do this. Luma likes to do this. Everyone has their habits. You take your understanding of the game, you apply it to this person and their habits, you will find success consistently. That's how you beat people. You just have to get better than them. And the good thing is that none of these players here that are listed are actually really studying the game at that level that I just described. They all have their own little questions. Like Kay will ask me, how do I beat a puff on side plat that's shielding? You know, and then we'll go over the nuance of that spot. So people, you know, K Mitz, maybe Frog, maybe Luma, are filling in holes here and there every once in a while. Frog, just by watching the game more than anything, he like watches it actively and like to learn. But me, I had a higher drive. I looked deeper into these things. I put more time into it. I got better. It's the same thing. Anyone can do it. It's just practice, proactive practice, gaining knowledge. Good question. Does Ultra win Genesis 1 with Dr. Mario? No, Ultra gets gapped. I answered this in a long form because I wasn't really sure before. The reasons why I wasn't sure is because Dr. Mario is a weird, unique character. Armada, Mango wouldn't have as much practice against if he played, you know, his Doc than versus his Fox. I think if you said his Fox, he gets cleaned, no question. He just gets rinsed. His Dr. Mario, he might have a strong enough combo game, and they might count him out enough that by the time he makes it to semis, winners finals, they don't have solutions yet. Now, when you watch like Mango and Armada from back then, like they're constantly coming up with like, you know, that fundamental understanding of the game I just talked about in the last question. These players who have played since like 2005, 2006, they've built their game plans on fundamentals from the ground up, and they've constantly reevaluated those fundamentals to push the game, and they've had to because they've had to be pioneers and they've had to stay ahead of everyone else who's learning the game. They haven't had resources to learn like we do now, and so with all that being said, they adjusted. The reason why they stayed at the top even in this era is because they adjust faster than anyone else. There's so little that surprises them. And so yeah, like Genesis 1, Ultra's Dr. Mario with like the flowcharts that he would have figured out, I'm sure. I don't know. I haven't watched his Dr. Mario. I'm assuming he's like the same level as that dude from SoCal that was really good. Whatever his name is. Whatever. But, like, I just think that he, over the course of a set, would get exposed. Like, all the, like, he's got amazing grab combos against Fox. Well, okay, Mango's not going to play to get grabbed. He's played Mewtwo King for years. He's going to play to not get grabbed. Will Ultra have enough layers of mix-ups and tools to, like, beat these players still? Maybe. I doubt it, but maybe. But, yeah, Armada especially, I highly doubt it against. Armada is not afraid to just turn up camp you for 8 minutes and just like play situations as they are and just download you slowly and grind you out. Might have been Ultra versus no, see again, Mango played Puff back then. It's hard to say because like Puff Doc is volatile now that I think about it. It might have been Ultra versus Armada Grand Finals, but Ultra would have been the worst player than Mango. Mango would have been miffed about it, and the same way that Mango lost to Kage that one time and then beat him with his Link the next time, he would have done the same thing to Ultra's Doc the next tournament. Like at Genesis 2, Ultra would have got scrubbed so hard. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Question 6, I think. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. I find it hard to okay, so this is a frog question. I find it hard to metaphysically believe that the autonomy of my button presses will lead to a euphoric outcome where my down movement from above beats their down move from below. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? First off, Frog, get good, bro. because him and I tested this on the stream setup after, where he was like, Falcon down air just doesn't beat Peach down smash. If you start them at the same time, Peach down smash works every time. It just beats Falcon down air. Him and I ran that after, and Falcon down air won every single time. Every single time. Like, no question. Why? Because it comes down to timing and spacing and, like, when you start your down air. Like, I imagine Frog is, like, jumping and then down airing, and then the legs are pulling up and getting hit by the down smash. When you have to jump rising down air, and then fastball after the down air is already started and has hit the opponent. Like, you jump, the down air is starting while you're jumping, you hit the apex of your jump. You can't fastball before the apex of your jump anyway, for those who don't know. Stomp hits, you immediately fastball as the stomp has hit, pretty much, or is hitting, so you can get your punish. Bro is tweaking. So, the way I answered this when in the muted VOD was I assumed, because I hadn't talked to Frog yet, that the question was like, how does down move from above beat up move from below? And I thought that was a good question. And it comes down to manipulating yourself. So, I ran an example. I don't have my controller. It's in the other room. I really don't want to grab it. It's a good example, though. Ah, fuck it. I'll do it. Okay, I'll be right back. All right. Okay. So. Oh, I should do this in Uncle Punch. Okay, so
training mode. Zelda Fox. Training mode. Fox.
How do I do this again? I forgot how I did this. I set this up, but basically it's like so up smash, they're coming down, I up air them, right? Pretty simple. I just got a free combo, I got a kill. Simple enough, right? Oh god, why did it take so long to set up? Fox jumped, right? Now all of a sudden there's a new mix-up. The other Fox just landed, I'm at this height, I can immediately air dodge thinking he's going to try and hit me with an up tilt or something again. Or I can land with a move if I think he's not. If I think that he's going to think that I'm going to air dodge because I'm panicked and he might just wait, I can just come down with the back air, you know? And so, that's one way of this spot. Now, okay, I'm going to have to, it's annoying. Let me actually, here, I'll set this at a higher percent because I think this is more useful. Here, do it this way. Okay, So that's like the perfect follow-up if the fox doesn't do anything, right? Now let's say that the fox drills. Still beats it, right? All I did was wiggle out and drill. Now, let's say that the fox wiggles out fast falls and drills. Okay? Didn't work out as well. And I also drifted it a bit. All of a sudden it's not working as well. I'm mashing out, I'm trying to fastball, I'm doing things just a little differently. My down move's beating his up move. Why? Why am I not getting single hit up air? Well, it's because I'm mixing up my timing, and I'm mixing up my spacing when I fall down. It's that simple, right? And so, how does down move beat up move? Well, there's a lot of examples where up moves are a lot stronger and a lot harder to get around. And so we'll see this right now. A fox trying to come down from a sheik. Or vice versa, we'll say, you know? So we have fox here. Okay. Let's see. No, I wanted to set it the other way. Okay. So. Right? Simple enough. I don't know if that's a true combo. I guess we'll find out in a second. See, it's not. So I can, again, watching it from the sheik's perspective, sheik gets up hit here, sheik has jumped here, right? At this point, when the sheik jumps here, this is when they either decide, I'm going to commit to an option, because I'm at a spacing where it's unreactable for me to commit to something, or I'm not. I'm just going to hang out and see what they do. If they do something dumb, I get a free hit. If they don't, I'll commit later, right? But at this spacing right here, if the sheik decides I'm going to jump an up air and meet the fox in the middle, they have to start the up air early enough. You can see that the up air started. I don't think you can see my oh, you can now. Okay, sweet. So you can see the up air was started around here, just in case if the fox does drill out of hit stun or do a back air out of hit stun, the drill isn't going to hit me first. That's why as a sheik I have to respect that a fox can wiggle out and do a move, and so I have to do the move a bit earlier than if they were just sitting there. Now, if they are just sitting there, I get hit anyway. If they're not, it's okay. I've set up the situation so it doesn't really matter. Now, because of that, because you have to start it early enough, the fox can just wiggle out, you know? I can just jump. And the moment I jump, now it's a different mix-up, you know? The sheik sees me to the right of them. Are they going to do a double jump back air to try and catch me? In which case, I should fully drift out as fox, just to avoid it altogether. Maybe even an air dodge. I'll land on top platform. I'll be safe. Maybe they're just going to fall down with me, you know, and just fall down. In which case, I can probably fall down close to them still, and maybe do a double jump myself to bait or maybe, you know, do an air dodge to platform. Maybe land instant shield, get a reversal. It's a bit more safe a spot. But the point is that, like, what you're doing, like, how do I come down when someone wants to do an up move? You know, when do they want to do the up move and where? Play around that. Why do they want to do it there and then? Oh, it's because I'm here and they're here and this is when they react. So if they react when I get to this point each time, this is when I choose to do a mix-up. I know that I can, when I'm right here, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this next mix-up. I get here, they start to attack at me. I've already air dodged, you know? And so it's the end leg of my air dodge, so I can get down quicker because I've committed early enough that I get away from it. Point is that it's all a mix-up. And, like, if you want to use a down move coming down, it has to be because you know your opponent isn't respecting the spacing and is going to try and overshoot something to catch you jumping. Because here's the thing. Here's the other way this goes. So let's say this happens, right? I wonder how I can... I hope this works out. Okay, yeah, that's closer. So I'm reading a jump now, right? Because I'm like, oh shit. They're jumping at a hit stun, I'm missing them. Now I have to start reading the jump, right? So that's what I start to play to shark them harder, right? Right? I'm jumping late. I'm not even jumping with the intention of like I think I know they're gonna try and jump and hit stun, so I'm just waiting for it, right? Now let's bring it all back. Now the drill works. Now I can come down with a move because they're trying to wait for me to jump. They're trying to catch my drift. You know, sometimes it's a jump that does this. Sometimes it's drifting extra far to the left or extra far to the right where they can barely not reach you, so they have to commit a little harder to reach you from below. And then the next time that situation sets up, you drift as if you're going to drift that full way, and then you fast fall with a move. Boom. Now you've reversed them. That is the essentials of coming down in melee. That's the essentials of a lot of spacing mix-ups in melee, even on the ground. But when it comes to coming down and not getting sharked or sharking someone, that's how to look at it from both sides. The full scope of it. Good question. I need a one dance. Awesome. Me too, man. Me too. Melee, quarter circle, DI, SDI, how you doing this shit? I quarter circle everything pretty much. Like, when I dash to the right, left, like I'm dash dancing. I want to dash towards my opponent, I dash immediately quarter circle down. If I get hit by a move while I'm dashing, I'm crouch canceling it, I can get a reversal. If I don't, I start to crouch at the end of my move, I get a true crouch cancel, so if they do a move because they see me there and like they do a stronger move, I still probably CC it. If they don't use anything, I can just from this downward angle pull forward, pull back, and then get a dash out of crouch. And so that's when I'm always quarter circling my dashes because of that. Now when it comes to DI and SDI, if I'm getting like up aired by mitts, I'm like mashing up. I'm just mashing up between like these gates here. Let's see. So here's like the top center gate. Right. I should just have a button map. But I'm just like mashing like in between the top center gate and the other two gates, nonstop. And so I do that like if I'm mashing away nonstop on like a fox up air. I'm just like mashing to the side like this. I'm just like, you know, like, to see the stick, I'm like just running it back and forth between these notches to try and get 2 to 3 inputs. I'm sure there's a more optimal way to do it. That's just how I do it. It works out for me. How do you make VOD review more enjoyable? Good question. I've kind of answered this in the past about like improvement. So it depends. I hate losing. I don't know if anyone has figured this out by now. Anyone in the scene might, you know, you've been in the scene long enough, you probably, oh shit. There we go. Anyway. You've been in the scene long enough, you probably know I hate losing. I've told friends a million times, like at majors especially, where I'm like, just put a muzzle on me for half an hour after I lose. I'm so self-aware of it. I just feel such emotion that it's so hard to control. And so I can control it by just going nonverbal and not saying a word to people and just like fucking off and doing my own thing for a while. That's how I control it, is I find another outlet that I can channel it into for a while until those emotions have left me. But if I don't have that, if someone's like trying to talk to me about the set afterwards, oh my god, I am the fucking worst person to talk to. Even when I beat Frog at Settle It the other day, I like walk over to Griff after and I'm like, dude, what the fuck, man? I was like, I should have fucking 3-stocked him. I should have 3-0, 3-stocked him every game with the way that he was playing. I was like, sure, he played neutral more disciplined, but his punish was dog shit. I just was so upset about how things were not translating between what I was trying to input and what was going, like what was being input. That I shouldn't be talking to anyone about the set. And so I just walked away and watched a VOD for a bit and then came back. Not our VOD, but like a different, not even a Millie VOD, but like I was watching a league tournament that's happening. Anyway, the same one I played at the start of the stream. It's just losers finals yesterday. So why am I talking about this? How is it relevant? Usually when I lose at a major or against someone who I really don't want to lose to ever again, or I just lost in general, the way that I channel that without like having to talk to people is I walk away, I go find somewhere quiet, I immediately watch the VOD. I'm like, it hurts in the moment, but I feel so much pain already that, you know, watching a VOD, if anything, might calm me down. And so I watched the VOD, I like, oh, I shouldn't have done this, I should have done this. And now, these days, I have a notepad as well, courtesy of someone who is still dear to me, but, anyway. I have this cute little notebook I got a long time ago, the Inky notebook. And so, I've filled it with notes for years now. Versus Fitzy, versus Wizzy, and I'll do this after sets. I'll do this after little sessions with people online. I used to just do it after sets, but like this one here from December 20th. Lots of ranked sets. Some of my worst habits include, once I get a hit or two, I stop respecting my opponent. I need to genuinely think a lot more about my own movement and what it expresses. Yeah, I thought about that a lot. Versus DK. Did a great job versus Bing. I felt like I did an amazing job of holding my own space as well as faking when I would come off platform to bait DK up B. I need to down smash ledge rather than down tilt sometimes. When DK is facing me, I need to worry about run up shield, run up B, up air catching my aerial, raw grab, down tilt into immediate option like dash forward something, fair or stomp if I'm going in grounded, or like if they know that I want to go in for a grab, drift forward fair as an overshoot, down B. And so I thought of all these options of DK, how like, these are the things that hit me more often than not. I thought of how to, like, just not even playing, I just thought about how to interact with these things. And like what it means as Sheik to beat these things, and what's easy, like how can I easily play around or defend against these options, these threats. When DK is facing me, those are all the threats that I have to deal with. When DK is not, dash back into doing an option is something that DK can do, or dash back into bear. If I'm doing auto cancel fade back fairs, they need to dash instant jump up air, so I can wait and react to this or dash in. So I would jump auto cancel forward air, and then I would just wait and react to them maybe committing to me doing it at the same timing the next time. If they commit to that, I get a free hit. If they don't, we just reset neutral. And so against Bing, I took a bunch of those notes. This is 2 years ago, and you just keep doing it, man. For me, I just kept doing it over and over again, and eventually it just becomes like a therapy thing. It becomes very therapeutic for me to understand like what happened and why things went wrong. I think that like something that really struck a chord with me a long time ago is that a lot of anxiety, both in game and out of game, is just fear of the unknown. When you like are doing bad panic options or like your bad habits, it's because you don't understand the situation you're in. So the more you understand it, the less anxious you'll feel, the better you'll be able to perform. Now, let's say that you're not like me, you don't like that, right? Or let's say that you're like me on most other days where I don't, have a major that I've just played in and I want to still improve. What do? Let's see here. Fuck. Dude, did the entire Initial D soundtrack get removed from... What the... Hold on. Oh, this might copyright me. Fuck. Whatever. I'm not gonna do it then. I'm also, my Spotify is just kind of broken right now. But, yeah, what I do is I throw on some music. Something to chill to, you know? Something vibey. I'm throwing it on, I don't care. I do not give a fuck. Copyright strike me. Do it. I sit down, I roll a joint, I grab a snack, some cold water. I chill for a second. And I think about it. I think Rome wasn't built in a day. Do I want to be a better person tomorrow? Better person can mean kinder, more studied. You can mean better at melee. I light up my joint. I throw something on my other screen. Let's see. Netflix. Face Off on Netflix now. Amazing. I love John Travolta. I love Nicolas Cage. I throw this movie on. I mute it. I don't need to hear the movie. I just want to see it. I got my Space Boy on. I'm so stimulated right now. I'm so fucking stimulated. Why not just open a VOD? Do it. Just do it. You ever have to do dishes and you look at your pile of dishes and you're like, fuck man, I don't want to do this. And then you tell yourself, I'm just going to wash this one cup of water. Like this one water cup. And you wash your one water cup because it's easy to do that. Oh. I just washed my one water cup. I'm already here. Let me just do another. Let me do another. All of a sudden, dishes are done. It looked like a Herculean task until you started it. With VOD review, same thing. I'm just gonna throw on Chic Fox, that like this Fox I played against that I didn't really understand the other day. And you know what? Maybe I just watch an interaction or two. Maybe I watch the movie more. Maybe I just keep this in the background. Oh well. I have it on now. I can't believe I got hit by that. Wait, what did I get hit by? Pause. Go back. Watch it again. Watch it again. Oh, take note. I'm doing it. All of a sudden I'm doing it. I'm VOD reviewing. I didn't want to. It felt like it was like the most dreadful thing to do. Because most people dread work that feels almost meaningless or feels like it's like not immediately benefiting you. Kind of sucks. School fucking sucks. I hated school. Rome wasn't built in a day. You gotta do those things slowly but surely. You gotta trick your brain. You gotta find your own way to trick your brain. You have to inspire yourself. Do what needs to be done. Whatever works for you. That's how I see it. What do we got next? Past or present, who do you think are some of the funniest people, biggest trolls in NS Atlantic Melee history? Fuck. You know what's funny? The last time this question was asked, aka when I answered it like 5 days ago, I didn't really have a good answer for this, and I told myself I'd have to think about it more for the future. And then I did not do that at all. So, funniest people. Loki, the PC group was really funny. I still hang out with them sometimes. I really enjoyed hanging out with them back when I was new to the scene, like Jeff and Burglor and Riley and Andrew and I mean, depending on the era, there's also been Luke, classic, of course, but depending on the era, there's also been Jono for a while. There's also been at least the era that I was in, Wilbur. Dude, Wilbur is so funny. I miss Wilbur. There was this one event, I think it was a Settle It, where Eric is it's me versus Eric. I don't know if it's winners finals or what. I don't remember. But Eric is doing some nasty things, and everyone starts talking about the sh-movement. Oh my schmod, and they're just making these stupid sh-movement jokes, and then Wilbur from commentary is just Mom, I'm sh-moving out the house, and it's one of those things where you just have to be there, the candor, the way that he said it, the way the timing. He just was such a funny dude, and that is one of many interactions I had with him that were I love this dude. Really funny guy. Biggest trolls, I mean, Atlantic Canada, dude, Jack is such a troll. Jack is one of my favorite trolls from Newfoundland. I don't even know how to put it into words, but his relationship with Hatsune Miku is a good indicator of the rest of his personality. Who else? Weem is just an enigma. Soccer on Christmas. I always thought he was so funny. Not because he was trying to be. Just a really funny dude. Fuck, who else? Patty. People don't remember Patty. He was really good at 64. Part of the OG days, Patty Quinn. He played on Smash Ladder back in 2015, 2016. I forget what his tag was on that. It's super OG. Some people might remember him, some people might not. But he was a really funny troll dude as well. He had these other aliases he would make. He was smurfing before people smurfed in Melee. He would play on keyboard and troll people. He was a funny dude. There's also Fun, who used to wear sunglasses and taunt on people. He was a big troll. He would play Peach and Yoshi. He would just down smash over and over again as Peach and just taunt every time he got a kill. And that was he would 0-2, and he would do that to his opponents with a smile on his face, unabashedly. They might make a snide comment about it, and then he same time next week. And I love that. He almost got punched by Christian because of it, and Christian got banned for a year because Christian raised a fist to punch him, and everyone was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" It was a very the set was being watched by a lot of people back in the day. Tom, Danklord, and Milk Toast, Langdon, dude, those guys were hilarious, and they were such trolls. Danklord, aka Chaotic Dark Flame Gecko Kid, yeah, no, those are some of the funniest trolls NS has had. Same with Wes, dude. Wes was my first set of melee ever was against Wes's Dr. Mario, and him talking about the sex kick and how it gets stronger the longer it's out, and he's caping me back and forth and just caping me and then arrowing me, and it was miserable, but it was also a really fun first experience of an event. It was something to talk about. And yeah, he was always a troll guy on Facebook. Oh my god, dude, back when people used Facebook for events, he's always in the comments making this little stupid anyway, good times. Okay. What is your favorite deep cut set? I'm a fan of Armada versus Left at Paragon Orlando 2015, for example. Well, I have two. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. This is an all-time favorite of mine. Silent Wolf Otto, he is one of my favorite people in the Millie scene. Not a whole lot of people know who he is.
Because it felt like so many.
He was a super technical fox from back in the day who also speedruns games. He still speedruns. Almost beat he was like one of the first people to get close to beating Armada that was like not a god. And just like a super cool, humble dude. Very cool to be around. I used to hang out in his streams all the time and just like he'd have like 10 viewers of just watching him play whatever speedrun game. And he like went through a lot where he had this mental block that like debilitated him, and he read a book that like helped him cure himself because it was like apparently a placebo, something about the nerves like output information to you based off of like past injuries you've had. And so he was like in bed like with shin splints and like his wrists were just unusable, and he just couldn't do anything. And there was a real period of time where I was really worried for him, and he made a huge bounce back. I think he's happy now. I don't know. I hope he is. But yeah, most people only know Silent Wolf for like the 4-stock that Axe gets on him, but he had such a cool career of just being like just a good community member. Like I think that like the community is built on like players like him. Like I think Sunsei is very similar to him. Huge fan of Miles, and I think Miles is maybe a bit more quirky in some ways, and like Silent Wolf's quirky in like others. Cool guys, and again, yeah, one of my favorite people, and this is a set against Mewtwo King. I think he wins the set.
Lots of damage.
Yeah.
Lots of damage.
Crazy damage.
And he plays so well the whole set.
Really
and like
Mewtwo King with no jump.
Hadn't really been exposed
with no
by
jump.
anyone other than like
I think
you know, the goats back then. This is like 2017. Yeah, I don't think people realize that Silent Wolf has beaten Mewtwo King 3 or 4 times in a row. He always plays so well versus Mewtwo King. I don't understand how to. He just understands how to adapt him better than most of the top 10. Dude was a goat back then. That's one of my favorite sets. Now this other set. Mewtwo King versus Westballs at SGL 2017.
players are ready.
Rock is a safe throw, man.
Live. This is winter semis. And man, what to say about this set? Because I want to preface it. Westballs back then was also kind of that dude. 2017. I think this is 2017 as well. Yep, this is also 2017. Yeah, Sinks Gaming 2017. And so Mewtwo King was starting to like slip a little bit. He was starting to lose to these like players in the like 6 to 15 range, which both of these players were. I think Westfalls was like 6 and Otto was like 10 in this year, something like that. They were both really good, but this is when we see the will to win at its peak, because well, let me just show you the set.
The initiative when the power shield is activated.
So you'll see in the first couple of games, other than like FD being the Mewtwo King stage, you'll see that it doesn't go too bad for Westballs. Like his neutral, like his punish game, like everything is really on. Yeah. We see this next stock, like again. Look at this play. Falcos these days aren't even playing this well. Like a lot of the Falcos these days aren't doing the things that Westballs did back then. Westballs would be one of the players I would love to play. I think I mentioned this in a past video, like Inky Talks too, but it'd be really cool to see how I would do against that guy. I think there's a good chance I could win. There's a good chance, depending on who's more in form. It'd be hard to see. It'd be hard to say. But, like, he knows all these flowcharts. Watching, like, seeing his knowledge on display, the way that he plays these situations, it's like Aklo always does that side B, and, like, it's not bad. Like, it's still being used in the current era. Like, and him doing that ultra high down air after the shine, because he knows that Mewtwo wants to shield grab, and if he goes for a low aerial, he's gonna get grabbed there. Like, things like that. Like, he's just so aware. Anyway. This is a nasty set from Westballs. This is some of the, like, the best melee I've seen a Falco play. Super well played from him. He gets FD'd. We go to Yoshi's, and Mewtwo just kind of starts to play. Well, he plays with the momentum, and, like, Westballs wants to get it back. And with that in mind, Westballs wants to, like, try and hit him a lot, and Mewtwo takes that energy and just, like, plays, like, a lot of in-place mix-ups, and just plays, like, very Mewtwo-esque, like just always throwing things out. That was kind of a nasty mix-up back with Mewtwo, actually. It's like Westballs will win neutral bunch, and then like, what the fuck, like, what is happening right now? You know, like, Westballs wins neutral bunch, Mewtwo just starts to camp a little bit. Westballs does something dumb, gets owned. That was nasty. Same thing. He's just chasing now, and so this is like a weird game of, like, push and pull, where, like, Mewtwo just starts to play lame, and Westballs has to, like, because he knows that, like, the moment that he stops approaching Mewtwo is going to not take any damage, and, like, going to play in a super defensive way to frustrate him back. Or B, he's going to approach him, like, with a hyper kindle move all at once, and then immediately go back to being defensive. Like what he does right here. Just super commits after making it look like he's going to be defensive. Hold shield and down at the same time. And Mewtwo so aware of the mix-ups he's already run, like how he forward smashed in that spot last time. So he just gets to turn around and grab, and if it misses, he's going to spot dodge or roll away. And so he's just playing, like, these ultra safe mix-ups. And it's like, that's good melee. It really is. But it's so annoying sometimes. And the way that he does it is so fundamental and basic that it's just like, you know, the Mewtwo had his fans, but holy shit, this era was like the lamest Mewtwo we got to see. It was really brutal. But I also, again, I respect it. So he wins this game. Low-key kind of playing cheese. And Westballs, like, rallies and just starts to play that push and pull a lot better. And when Mewtwo goes to ledge, he just like, oh, okay. Alright, man. Well, I have a lead. So I'm going to laser. And you can play with me at some point. You know? He's playing around the camp well at this point. For those who don't know the set, I don't know if, like, for those who know the set, you know what's coming. For those who don't, man. So it's like, and this is where we start to see, like, how bad Mewtwo needs to win for his own mental. Which, I mean, I don't have this in me. I wish I did. Anyway. Westballs is, like, playing on fire still. If you watch these two stocks, they're both so nasty. Reads that. Reads that. Reads that. Read all of that. Was all ready. Knows that Mewtwo has to approach now because he's down a stock. Fake approaches a couple times. Uses it to get a couple hits. So sick. Again, like, I don't know if I would be able to beat this Westballs because he was so good back then, and this is like him in peak. Yeah. So Westballs, like, powers through it, wins this game, and we're at a game 5 situation. Surely this is going to be a barn burner. This is going to be a banger of a set. We're going to see a back and forth. Who knows who's going to take it? It's been a give and take set. Where are we even going to go? You know? Is Mutaking going to go Stadium because it's longer? It's going to go FOD because it's more awkward. He's going to go back to Battlefield because he thinks that he could have done it there after all. We're going FOD. Okay. Small, scrappy stage, you know? I think either way, like, if West Balls wins this, it'll be like a minute and a half set. If Mutating wins this, it'll be like 50 seconds. Like, it's going to be one of those, you know? And I went into this thinking, okay, like, banger alert. Oh, also keep in mind, something else really funny. In the last game, at the very start of the game, they didn't neutral start. And so, immediately Mutaking tries to take advantage of it. Immediately, because he's Mutaking. You know, he's not going to back off. If he thinks he has an edge, he's going to take it. He loses neutral because he tries to take advantage of his edge. So he talks to West Balls and says, okay, we're neutral starting next game. And West Balls like, sure, man, whatever. We'll neutral start. Sure. Like, I'm not going to say no. Whatever, you know. Really bad forward smash. That happens. First stock is kind of like it's a bit nerves on both sides. West Balls has the momentum. He's like boxing Mutaking out well. Mutaking starts boxing him out. I don't know why he's up throwing. I hate it. I think it's such a dumb option. But yeah, he just plays this stock kind of like antsy because he should have had Mutaking killed already a couple times. And so now, again, why are you up throwing there? So bad. Runs Mutaking at the ledge, gets up tilted 5 times for it. Shield grabbed and up tilt 5 times. 3, 4. Okay. Forward smash, empty lane, forward smash. Forward air, up air in place. Gets a trade. Waits on the top platform. We're 2 minutes in. Can you believe that we're 2 minutes into this game? I can't. I don't know how we're 2 minutes into this game. Oh wait, I'm starting to get how. It's like, and so West Balls is chasing. They're still playing melee. Keep this in mind. This whole game, this 2 minutes and 10 seconds, it's been like a lot of defensive play and trying to like finagle in, and so it's been a slower game. But it's been a lot of melee. Keep in mind also, West Balls has had the lead this whole 2 minutes and 15 seconds, give or take. Like, sure, he doesn't have it right now, but pretty much has. Yeah, it's a bad habit of going to top platform. Mutaking recognizes it. He's swatting, doing a lot of defensive swats that are good. Good reversal by West Balls. Doesn't get the up tilt out in time. Yeah, you do have time to shield that. Could have done something else there, but it's fine. Antsy with the forward smash. Could have gotten a kill on Mutaking there. Mutaking also antsy. Anyway. Good stock, you know. We're 3 minutes in now. That was a pretty good back and forth stock. Mutaking up 3 stocks to 2. And so just watch the way Mewtwo King's playing. Just watch Mewtwo King's inputs and options. You might not recognize this, but bro hasn't played Melee in over a minute and a half. He has not been playing Melee. I don't know what game he's playing right now, but it's not Melee. Oh, he played a little Melee there. A little bit of Melee. Oh. I guess we're not playing Melee anymore. Oh. Oh. Mix-up. You played Melee. Oh, well. Yeah. 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 And so this is when you, the audience, starts to realize, oh yeah, this era didn't have a ledge grab limit. And so this becomes the game. Yeah, I don't know why it blows my mind that he always chooses a up throw there. And so there's 3 minutes left on the clock. So with 50 seconds left, Mewtwo King sees a chance where Westballs is frustrated and is like trying to figure out what options to do. Wastes his double jump, gets killed for it. Mewtwo King just throwing out defensive moves constantly. Jump, move, jump, double jump, move, move. Mewtwo King does not even get up to fist bump Westballs or to even offer a fist bump because he knows that no human being would want to fist bump him after a set like this. And so this is probably one of my favorite melee sets of all time because of that. It is just like the incarnate idea of like a player who is like trying to push neutral and push the game as far as possible and like really invests their full spec into like, I want to beat this person at melee. And a person who invests their entire spec in, I want to win, and it does not matter if I beat this person at the game that we're playing. I just want to win. If me winning means that like I have to poison Westball's water on the way up, I'll do that instead. Like that is what that game plan expresses. And so it's just it's a beautiful example of what melee can be on both sides. Holy shit, we're an hour and a half in. This is evil. Do you think Sheik forward tilt is overused in bad spots? Yes, next question. No. No, it kind of stems back to the earlier answer I was giving in detail about like coming down from above. Where everything is a timing and spacing mix-up. And so, like, if you jab without knowing why you're jabbing, or you down tilt without knowing why you're down tilting, or you up tilt without knowing why you're up tilting, or you short hop forward air without knowing why you're short hop forward airing, and it ends up being in a bad spot, well, you still might not get punished for it. Like, the chances of you getting punished for something like that, a lot of those moves you can immediately act out of or like are hard to react to. If you do a forward tilt in a bad spot, you're most likely getting punished for it. It's really just, like, it takes a while to come out, or not to come out, but it like just takes a while. It has a lot of frames, and it's also usually like you forward tilt after you've established yourself in a position, whereas a lot of the other moves you can kind of use like without that being the case, or you normally do use it without it being a case. I think the problem is that forward tilt is gravitated towards being used in bad spots more than other moves, and so it's not so much that forward tilt is overused; it's used as adequately as the rest of the moves, but it's just, yeah, it magnetizes towards bad spots more than anything else, more than any other Sheik move, other than like forward smash, you know. Forward smash is another thing. So it's like, does that make forward tilt a bad move itself? No. It just is more situational than people give it credit for. Same with up tilt. Up tilt's a lot more situational than people give it credit for. I used to use up tilt bad a lot. And so I would use it to try and catch people running at me and or in jump. And I would just get hit by nair for doing it a lot instead. So I was like, oh, I just need to use movement to account for these other things. And then if they nair, then I'm not leaving myself up to dry. And then I can use up tilt like as a hard read and to those other options after I've already made them respect that they can't nair at me for free. And so like things like that. So yes and no is the best answer. It's a bit ambiguous, but it's a good thing to think about. What are habits you notice at different rankings? Example, gold players have this bad habits, plat players are good at this, but don't have their punish game down. Diamond players have their punish game down, but tend to not have deeper neutral mix-ups. Okay, so that was already answered in a way. With the earlier question of, like, the very first question of, like, what does it mean to better player someone? Like, I kind of answered that there, where it's like, there's just different levels of these habits, and like, it's not so much that plat players are good. Like, I guess when I play on my like Peach account, like I could say that like at gold I just stomp people because they have no idea what they're doing in any capacity in terms of like spacing or threat ranges. They don't know my threats. They don't care about like what I want. They're just doing what they want to do, and so it's like, oh, this fox is naring at me. Okay, I'll just run up here and they're gonna nair at me, and then I'll down smash them. And since they're naring and they want to shine after, they're gonna take 60%. And they're not going to adjust. I can play around that same spot again, and it's not as much that like on their end they don't know what they have to adjust against. Like for me, it's like I'm running up within this space, and then they're going to nair at me, and I'm going to run out of that space, then down smash, and then for them it's like, oh, he's in this space, I need to nair at them. And then the moment they get down smash, they're like, fuck, maybe I shouldn't have naired. And so what's your solution then? Well, they might just stand still next time, and so I move into that space, they stand still, I take more space, now they nair. I do the same thing, where I just fake that I'm going to take more space next time, and then I down smash. It's like, gold players, you can do that at any point. Now, platinum players, they have figured out tools, like the tools that they play enough, and have like beaten gold players, and like are experienced enough, typically, is a good way of putting it, to like not fall for that same thing every single time for a whole set, but like they have a lot of glaring weaknesses, like a lot of big issues, like, oh, this fox player is good at like converting shine up smash into like back air, which is like a 60% combo, and so when they get shine, like I have to play around them getting shine because that's like a good sum of damage that they'll get off of it as a confirm each time. But they also just side B off stage on the third shine sometimes, and if I like get them near the ledge and I know they're gonna shine, I can like hit them before they shine, and then they like are trying to like do the wave dash down after, and they just air dodge off stage because like they're not reacting, they're just trying to do the input that they would have done anyway. And then Diamond, it's like, Diamond people have, like, tools, and then they're going to avoid your tools at all costs and try and use their tools at all costs. So Diamond players usually feel like the lamest to play against, because it's like, they're triangle campers if they don't know how to beat you in neutral. Or if they do know how to beat you in neutral, then they're just spamming hard, like, those options that beat you. Like, they have theories, and they're going to, like, they're very ruthless with how they pounce on them. Like, that is Diamond players incarnate. And then, like, Master and Grandmaster is, like, okay, like, now we're, you know, we respect that each of us can, like, do these bullshit things, so we're going to play real melee, hopefully. A lot of, like, low Grandmaster is still the same thing as, like, Diamond. The players just running their theories over and over. How can you get better and improve at each of these levels? Well, we kind of, again, we talked about in between top 8 at spin, top 32 at a major, and top 8 at an AMI. Same kind of thing, right? Always be trying to improve in matchups specifically, rather than trying to improve without, like, many goals. Yeah, things like that. Yeah. If whoever asked this question, if you wanted to specify a bit more, like, based off of how I answered the other question, if there's anything else that comes to your mind, feel free to leave that in the comment, or feel free to ask that in the next Ask Inky, because I hope I touched on it well enough, but this is a really good question, and yeah. When you feel real or self-imposed pressure to perform, how do you manage that feeling? Deep breaths, trying to calm your, like, pressure to perform. A lot of it, like, influences your state of arousal, is how it's put in terms of like, sports psychology. So, like, there's, like, tactics that athletes have used to counter those things for years, like deep breaths, closing your eyes. For me, I love to remove myself from the stimuli of, like, everything around me and just go for a little walk, put on some music, so it's just me, it's my music. It's just me and my music, you know, that's all it is. And so when I'm alone with, like, the things that I like to listen to and my own thoughts, I can focus on, like, what is this feeling of pressure? Like, so let's say, like let's give an example. Me failing at performing under pressure and managing it, and me performing under pressure and managing it. An example of me failing would have been against S2J at Genesis, where I've always followed S2J as a high-level player, and I have this problem against people that I really respect or admire, where I did put in the work to beat him. I have notes here, pages of notes, actually, on S2J. I have a bad habit of thoughtlessly taking space with Nair. I can only take space when I've made it seem like I won't, and even then, I need to hold down and go for a tilt, grab, shield mix-up. Rarely I should turn my back to cover crossover aerials or threaten wave dash punish them, landing on or grabbing me. They can mash out of hit stun extremely quick, pre 50%. I need to look for instant double hits, like F-tilt, like option into F-tilt or rising aerial after a low aerial, or catching the option they choose out of hit stun. So chasing jump, crouch canceling into grab, SDI down tilt, like SDI into down tilt. S2J specifically will run away, then meet me in the middle. He did that the whole set. He will use plats for shield drop, aerial into instant option, or dash away. He did that. He will nair at you when you're running in. So the moment you start to run in and he starts to recognize when you're running in, he will meet you in the middle with a nair. He will landing up air into gentleman, and then he will space a bear right after the gentleman if the gentleman hasn't confirmed into a combo already. He does a lot of space bears in neutral in general. The best ways to combat that is to run up into the space, make it ambiguous about where you want to be, And then bear is actually, rising bear is very whiff punishable with forward tilt or crouch cancel to grab, or a variety of other options. I have to crouch roll out of hit stun. He loves to up air panic jumps out of hit stun. He uses up air neutral a fair bit. He will nair through my shield a lot and then do a turnaround gentleman. When Spark was playing him, Spark did well spamming chain options rather than doing something defensive after an offensive option. So he would do like a forward air and then he would jab, or he would down smash, or he would like do a forward tilt, and instead of trying to shield after or run away, he would just run another forward tilt or an up tilt. He did mix-ups like that where like you would normally assume that you should do a defensive option, but S2J is waiting for that. When he played against Crudo, he was getting CC'd a ton off of a couple other specific options that I've written down here. Anyway, I had all the notes. When I went into my set against him, I felt supremely prepared. When I was playing him, I felt like I knew everything that he was doing and what he wanted. But my problem was that I was watching all of it. I wasn't really like implementing the things that I had thought about. I was just kind of, I felt like I was like a passenger to our set. And so I'm down 2-0 all of a sudden in this like 2 last stock games that he capitalizes in the last stock. And I think to myself, what the fuck am I doing? How the fuck am I here? What happened that like I just gave up on like being my own player, and that I just like need to like play around the things that he likes fully, and like I know what he likes, and I'm gonna be able to sense how to play around those while I'm playing my game, and I can just do that. And so I told myself that I just like put myself in the moment, and I like take the next 2 games, like I 3-stock him both games on my counter pick and then on his. And so now that was me performing under pressure and being like managing it well, was just like really focusing on why what I was doing wasn't working in terms of like my mentality, and like pushing myself to be in the zone. And like something Zain does, he forces himself in the zone a lot by just like being like, play your game, play melee, focus on the, like, you just have to rile yourself up in a way that is like very that you want to understand. It's like the mentality is almost that you want to understand, you want to win, you want to do everything that you can do, you want to push your tools and push yourself. And it's like these intangible thoughts and qualities of like thought will focus your actual skill in the right direction. That's how I see it. So that was good. Game 5, he takes like 6 or 7 minutes. Maybe it was less than that. It felt like 6 or 7 minutes in the moment to like just sit there and think. And then he goes Dreamland. We played on Stadium the game before. And then he just starts to play so slow. And like, again, like I was so upset about this set already because the version of S2J that I played this day was a 3, maybe a 2 out of 10 of the version of him I'd watched in VODs and that I'd prepared for and that I felt like I was ready to beat. And frankly, I think if he brought that level, there was a better chance of me beating him, like, solidly, because I would have had to be so actively in it already from the get-go. Like, from stock 1, I would have had that turned on because I would have had to. Instead of it being like this weird, like, hypnosis, last stock game, all of a sudden it's 2-0. I'm like, what am I doing? And so I go into game 5 and like I just, again, I lose that. I lost what I had, like that edge, that focus, that like and like the moment he started to play slow, I like kind of took myself out of the game to try and think of how I should adjust, and all of a sudden it's 3 stocks to 1 for him. And it's like that's an example of like being ready for everything, being more locked in general to like what melee is, then being so close-minded and thinking of just these like certain options I had already thought about. I think that during those 5 or 6 minutes, like I might have even looked at my notebook and like went back and looked at these options again, and so I narrowed my vision again. I think sometimes it's good to do that, but sometimes it's not, and it's really like it's hard. There's a lot of different ways that you need to take sets that that like you might not know how to do unless you've experienced it already. And so that's why putting yourself out there consistently is so important. But yeah, then I went, like I was down 3 stocks to 1, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, play this last stock like it's like your life depends on every hit. Like, you need to you need to want this, like truly want this. And then it was last stock last hit, and I you know, I didn't do it, and it was really sad for me. Really crushing, actually, because I really wanted that on my resume, and I don't know how many opportunities I'll get against a player like Johnny, just based off of their career and, you know, our distance and things like that. So, yeah, examples of good and bad performance under pressure right there. Other than that, like, how do I manage that feeling? I find my happy place. I focus on the millie itself. I focus on competition and what it means to perform, and like I focus on a lot of these intangibles, and I just try and put myself in like a state of understanding and presence of mind and pushing myself. It's like you're trying to zen yourself out. It's a really good question, and there's a lot of different ways to approach it. I'm sure on another day I might approach it very differently. If you asked me this question like 3 months ago, or like after a particular tournament or before one. Yeah. All right, last 3. What's your favorite restaurant in Montreal? That food bank I went to by mistake slapped. There was this food bank down the street from me in Hochelaga, and they were advertising themselves online as like sustainable eating, like low cost affordable food that has been like procured from a good place. And I was like, oh, I like supporting good causes. I like cheap food. It's perfect. I show up there. I'm like, why is everyone here either young or homeless? Weird. And then I paid $4 for a big, delicious piece of roast pork that was sauced up and incredible. A nice soup, some bread, nice molasses cookie, homemade. I think there was some carrots, some potato, some green beans. Amazing meal. Other than that, like my number 2 place, maybe number 3. There's this one thrift store in Montreal. It's like also a cafe. I think it might be Ava D or Ava B. Yeah, it's Ava B. That place is awesome. It's a thrift store, and they also sell vegan wraps there, $6 each. So very cheap, delicious. Some of the best wraps I've ever had. Awesome atmosphere in there. That's one of my favorite places to go. Now, again, I know I'm not really answering the question. What's your favorite restaurant? You know, these aren't restaurants. You're not going to like sit in there and have like a nice meal. There's this place on Ontario Street. What's it called? Finding it right now. Hold on. Google is a beautiful thing. Oh, there's so many places. It's insane. What's this? Oh. Oh, the patisserie. Okay, we're getting closer. Fugazi. Wait. Trèfle. By the way, Fugazi Pizza, one of my favorite spots of all time. Delicious pizza there. I'm surprised it's 3.9. Really good pizza. The patisserie, like, people love it. Because it's like, oh, it's like the old style food, and like it's like a old style hamburger joint. It's dog shit. Everything. I fucking hated that place. I don't know why everyone else loved it. It blew my mind. That place sucks. Anyway, I've got a really bad opinion of that place. It's evil. Yeah, you walk down the street. I lived, while I was down there, I don't want to dox my roommates, but I lived, like, right here, pretty much. And so I would walk down this street, or you would walk through here, you'd walk up, like, through the park area, you'd come up here, and then, on this side of the street, what the hell? Oh mon dieu. This is actually evil. Hold on. Sherbrooke. Where's Ontario Street? Oh, here. I'm gonna lose my mind. Alright, I gotta get the bottom of this. Hold on. It's on my phone. Alright. This is actually a good thing because I get to show you a picture of the food as well. It's an Afghanistan place. Afghani. Kabul? Hold on. Yeah. This place. Wait. This place? Is this the place? I'm bugging. Okay, so that's why I couldn't find it. It wasn't on this street I thought it was. But yeah, there's this Afghani place here. Let me see what you guys see. Yeah, they have this one dish that's this dish here that's incredible. It's like lamb with raisin. It's like the national dish of Afghanistan. I had this. I had this here. Yeah, this here. I had that. I had something else. This. But this is like a smaller form of it. The actual one is massive. Let me, yeah. Here's both of those dishes and my dumb looking ass friend fed. Yeah, that's my favorite place to go. It's some of the best food I've ever had in my life there. Okay. When is T-Drop useful tech? I got bad news for you, bro. I don't even know what T-Drop is. Oh, wait. Like the teeter cancel drop. So something I like to do is chic is I like to wave dash, like ledge dash into wave dash back to ledge, and then I'll teeter on the ledge there, and then when I'm teetering I can react to the teeter instantly. So wave dash back. If they have done anything by the time I'm like teetered, I can immediately like react dash in and grab them. If I'm in that spot and they don't do something, then is that how you T-drop? I think you can't be teetering to T-drop. I think you have to, or am I thinking PC drop?
see, it is not the same tech, but functionally it's pretty much identical. It might be even a little bit faster, depending on some of the clips here. I don't know the mechanics of how it works, but to perform the action, all you have to do is dash forward, and then dash back or pivot back, and shield. I don't know if you need to pivot. I don't know if it needs to be a hard shield or a light.
Awesome video, dude. Fuck off.
So, what's up, world? This is a psychiatrist. I'm a smasher from the Utah scene. I think I've discovered new tech. Because I don't think I've ever seen anyone do this before. It's only possible on Fountain of Dreams, and I've tested with like a lot of characters, or a decent amount of characters, like all the top tier.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought you meant. It's already useful. Just watch Jmook. He uses a lot in spots where it's like, it's just quicker and less reactable than turn around wave dash ledge. And so if your opponent's off stage and like they're like shine stalling near the ledge and they're waiting for you to like start showing an action that will show that you're going to go to ledge before they can jump up with an aerial to hit you going to ledge, then a T-drop is just like, oh, you can just shield at that. If they do jump with an aerial, then it slides you off and then you can hit them for it. And if they don't, then you can instantly from teeter like T-drop and grab ledge. So it exists as like a high level mix up on reaction time and or like reaction points, but it's kind of niche, and it's like hard to encapsulate when it's a useful tech without just like running through one niche situation after another that like it would have application specifically with certain factors that align, because like it might apply to low level in a way that's more general if I described it in a general way, but you just get to a point where like someone baits it or like someone knows that you're going to go for it because of the actions you've done that have led up to it. And so unless like you're using it in a way that's very wise, it's just another niche tool. But it's a niche tool, you know? When you're edge guarding, or when you want to express that you're going to the ledge, and instead like to the ledge, the edge of the stage, and instead you just T-drop to the ledge, and then you can like do a wave dash mix up from there. You have invincibility, now they're close to the ledge because they've been chasing you there. It's a positive mix up for you. Something like that would be good. Anyway, last question. This is a 2-hour video. It's okay. Rank your top 3 controller spikes, crash hits from playing melee. What melee player can you not stand playing against the most? Who is your number? Who do you have mental block against? What an evil question. It's like, let me peer into the dark recesses of your mind and see what hurts you. Fuck, man. Top 3 controller spikes have all happened in my room when I've lost to, like, a truly dog shit player. And I say that with respect for all the players relative in the skill to this player. Because they're like, you know, plat isn't dog shit if you're, like, that's a really harsh way of putting it. But, like, I've lost some plats, like, even as with my Sheik, like, in the last couple years even, where it's like, I lose, like, a plat marathon line because my controller's just not inputting. Usually that's what it is. It's like, my top 3 controller spikes have all been when my controller is at a point of needing to get fixed with me putting it off, that like it's just boiled over, and like I should, instead of continuing to play and being a dead horse, just take my controller and go into like a corner and like fix it. But I want to play melee right then and there. It's like such a childish mindset when you really think about it, but those have caused me to just be like, this controller's done. It's done. Goodbye. And that's also like destructive when it's like I could just save those parts. Like there's some parts that are going to be destroyed when I toss it like that I like, logically speaking, it's not a smart thing for me to do. I know that. something to work on. It's something I have worked on a lot actually, by articulating like the exact emotions around it in like a document, and exactly how it makes me feel, and exactly why I feel those ways that I do, and why it's like what's the right thing to do, what's the wrong thing to do. Like if you really lay all these things out, you can get over a lot in life. And so I only have 2 like IRL control spikes that I can really think of, and it's both against Lunar Dusk. Both times when my controller was just like at a point already of boiling over, and both times I had the best wins of my life the next tournament after. So I have no complaints, but something to definitely try and never do again if I can help it. I don't like being a rager. It sucks. Like, it's not a good like, again, I grew up in the scene with Rick as my number 1 player, and Rick I think is such a positive role model for a good human, a social guy living his life outside Smash, cares enough about the game to like put in the work when he needed to, although it was a lot more talent than anything, but like to at least think about it proactively. Played with integrity, had a lot of integrity, win or lose. Like, you know, you get to know Rick, and you become one of the like the close people to him that like talks to him after a set. Like he gets upset too. You know, he's human just as well, but he hides it so much better than like any other top player I've seen or been exposed to. That's always what I've really respected and like wanted to be like myself. So again, much to work on, in spite of how old I am as an unk, and how much I should have already, like how far I should have already came, frankly. But everyone has their circumstances in their lives, and so be it. Anyway, what melee player can you not stand playing against the most? Probably Kata, just because he's dog shit, and he just spams options back at you that you kill him with. And so I have a game called the Kata game, where when you match up with him online, first kill, he'll start to like spam, like let's say you get the first kill off a grab open up, and then you perfectly tech chase, which, you know, the tech chase happens to include 3 more grabs because it's Chic Fox. You kill him with a Rising Fair at the end, a good needle edge guard. Honestly, like a clean stock. What he will do is he'll drop down, he'll go for like his like 3 mix-ups that he loves to go for that are like not terrible mix-ups. They don't really get him as much as he should get, so he just like, he's basically at the same level forever. He will always be at the same level because he's just is so stuck within his ways. But every once in a while, like that level again, he's at a level where he'll still get a couple kills. Like I'm not 4-stocking him every game. You know, it's probably a 2-stock or 3-stock or 1-stock. And so the moment he gets a kill, he's spamming that grab option back at you. He just spams grab, 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 taunt, grab, grab before, like, while you're dying off the top. And so what I do is the next stock, I just don't grab. I lock grab. That's the Kata rule. And so I'll kill him with like a lot more, probably forward airs or back airs, the next stock, maybe nairs at a shield. And so he'll start to spam maybe 2 of those different options back at me. Like he'll start to jump forward air in place, jump forward air in place, taunt, jump nair, like nair to shield, and or like roll if I'm rolling a lot. And so I'm like, okay, fuck, I can grab again, but I can't nair a shield anymore, and I can't roll. And so that's my Kata crutch. I think that's a fun mini game to play. But also, like, it's the only way I can stand playing against someone who is just so intolerable of a human. I don't know what's wrong with him. I've run into him on Smurfs too, so he doesn't know it's me. He doesn't know it's like a Canadian, but he just like sucks to play against as anyone. So that one. Who is your number? Who is my number? Who is my number? I don't know if it counts. J-Salt used to online because we would play on 90 ping because he's from Texas and he had really bad internet. And he would chain grab, but also because his internet was really bad, he would have like laggy like games against everyone, and so he was very used to it. And I would go into sets already tilted because I'm like, I have to play someone who camps, lags, and chain grabs, and they are more familiar with this whole style of cheese than I am because it's the only way that they play. And they would handpick what tournaments they would enter. They would enter only tournaments that they could win, it felt like. And they would also cheese the rules to get into some tournaments that were like, you're not allowed if you're like of an X level player. Just a grimy person. That guy, he's a super cool guy outside of Melee. There's a lot of them, you know, like people that like outside of Melee, I would certainly see myself maybe chatting with, hanging out with. But when it came to like anything Melee related, I thought that guy was so cringe. And so he's probably one of the people I would say had my number, in a way. Other than that, I'd have to even look at supermajor.gg to get a better idea. I've never really felt like anyone has my number. Like, I've never really felt like, at least off the top of my head, I can't really think of anyone who I'm like, God, I hate playing against this person. Like, there has to be people here that, like, there has to be a way of seeing people that you're not good against. I don't know how, but there has to be a way. Let me go through the top 100 list. There's gotta be someone who has my number, like, that I can think of. Like, I mean, in a way, like, Cody has my number, but he has everyone's number, and I still see my chances against Cody as, like, better than against some other people even, which is insane. I just see the whole list. There we go. I would say that I've never felt as lost against someone as I did against Sunsei. So he is someone I would have a tough time against. I would say that I don't have a mental block against anyone. I would just say that, like, there's certain people that I go into the set thinking I'm probably gonna lose, and that would include Zain, Cody, Joshman, and Moki. Just those ones, and Sunsei. Those are the only people I go into a set thinking I will. Oh, Crudo, and Jmook. Not Jmook included too. Those are the ones that I would need to really rally myself to feel like I can beat them, and I'd have to, like, do a lot of studying, and, like, I have to do a lot, because you can't. Those are not people that you can beat with, like, 4 hours of, like, looking into it and figuring it out. Like, it's just not possible. So I would need to have, like, a week's note. Like, if I could do an exhibition, it would be so cool to set up an exhibition match against one of them, and give myself, like, a week or two to try and figure out as much as I could, and cram within that period of time. But yeah, those people I would say I would have a mental block because I don't think I could beat them. I feel like this question would, like, should apply more to, like, people that are, like, around or, like, lower than my level, in a way. Who has my number and who has mental blocks against me would matter more if they're, like, worse than me. Smash Poppy in a way. Like, I think that, like, there's some players that I wouldn't give, like, my 100% against because I'm a bit afraid of beating them, like, of playing them in general, because I don't like to. I feel like I should beat them, but I also feel like I'm going to lose to them, kind of. Like, I don't know why. Smash Poppy might be up there. I don't know why, but the way that he plays kind of like it's Fox players mostly, because Fox is like, it's just a character Fox really, but yeah, if I had a player like that, I would have already put in 1,000,000 hours into figuring it out, I think. So, I don't think I have a player like that, really, other than people that are better than me. Yeah. Maybe one would be Free Palestine, because I don't like how they play. I think that they play in a way that's really lame and annoying, and I've always felt that way since I played them way back in the day. Like, I used to lose to them when I was like gold or plat on net play and they were master. That's someone who right now I'm probably objectively better than them, but I would play with like a underdog mentality. And who has had my number in a way, because they were better than me and consistently beating me at like past events like that. Yeah, good question. I don't know if someone else has stats and they could like tell me who has my number and who, you know, that'd be cool. But I don't know if anyone does. Yeah, 2 hours and 11 minutes. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. And you know, it's funny. Last video I said I need to stop saying as much, and I think I've quadrupled down on it this video and dropped more of them than ever before. We'll work on it. I also need to probably stop taking some questions so seriously. I think that I could I could live a little, have a bit more fun with these. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if this video dragged on too much, if you thought that I could have went more into certain answers. Let me know what you're thinking, and I will do my best to keep improving, keep answering questions as real as I can get, while also having a little fun with it, maybe. And we'll go from there. So, again, thanks for watching. I might start to do something at the end of these videos for funsies, just to add a little life to it. Maybe do like have someone set up to play a set with at the end of it all. Or have like a recommended video for people to go watch that like I would recommend. Because, I mean, I have an Inky archive of like a lot of good resources. And so, yeah, excuse my recommended, it's dog shit. I actually sign into Nick's account now whenever I want to watch real YouTube. Don't tell Nick. And I just watch like things from his algorithm because it's awesome. Yada 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 yada. Yada yada yada. Resources to watch. Boom. Let's see. Alright. This was a good video. Watch this. My explanation of footsies by Juicebox FGC. Is it a boring watch because it's like 50 minutes long? Yes. Yes, it is. Should you just let it kind of meld with your brain anyway? Probably. A lot more things here to show. These are all resources I've already consumed. Playing to learn, improvement guide, lot audiobook. For new players, these like neutral guides here. There's one by SFAT. Lod's guide is good. How top players beat you. This is a really good video about neutral breakdown. Again, a lot of these things I've already answered as well. You've probably already heard it from me. But it's good to get other people's interpretations. It's good to hear the same thing from multiple people. It will reinforce it in your subconscious. Again, thank you all 4 of you, for watching. Much love, and see you next time. Fuck, another fuck. Ciao.